Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of Tony's Technical Support. And last one we actually talked about installing your heatsink fan and motherboard. Here, as I've mentioned, I already have a pre-built system. Well, mostly built. And I'm going to show you how to add in some of the other accessories. Now, in order to make this a bit easier on the pair of us, because of course you probably can't see detail very well from there, I'm actually going to move the camera a bit closer. So if I happen to disappear from frame and you see my finger randomly popping in, don't be surprised. So here we go. Trying not to shake you too much here. Okay, so now we're a bit closer here. I'm just going to try to level this guy out a bit. And here we have our computer case. Now we can see right here we actually have our AMD heatsink. This one here happens to be manufactured by Ultra and is an amazingly good heatsink. If anybody wants part numbers for these components, by the way, please ask. Our RAM is already pre-installed, and we've also added in a couple small cables here at the bottom. Now, some people will ask me right away, what are these cables for? These are actually for your front panel. Now I'm just going to turn the computer case. By front panel, of course, I mean your power, your reset, hard drive and power LED, for your front panel audio, and for your USB ports. So we'll turn this back over here. This depends on your motherboard. When you're actually putting this together, there's usually a small block. I'm actually going to pull these cables down. In this motherboard's case, this one here is an M3N78-VM, manufactured by Asus. So I'm going to use a screwdriver here. Yeah, that's a lot easier to see. Right there, where the red tip is actually where your front panel block is. Now these jumpers, of course, are little wires, will connect in a certain pattern. Please refer to your motherboard manual for this one. Unfortunately, I don't have my manual handy, but I would show you. There's actually a pair of pins for your hard drive LED indicator, your power LED, power reset, again, all those ports that I mentioned before. You'll also find out that in a lot of these cases they have USB ports on the front of them. Now in this one's case here, I'm just going to pull this. This is actually the front panel connector. This is for USB. Nice thing is about most of these, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but there is a small amount of white writing there. These are always labeled. That's really nice manufacturers. This computer case, by the way, is very crappy. It is a no-name one. I will tell you right now, you will get what you pay for. With this particular case here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to mount our hard drive. Since we've already got these panel connections already hooked in here, including your front panel audio. Again, please refer to your motherboard's guide. It will explain the pinouts, and of course double check your computer case guide as well. Sometimes the pinouts are a little different than the motherboards say. So we have here our hard drive. This is of course a SATA hard drive. This particular model here is a 200 gig drive. This is used for my media center PC in the living room, also known as this computer. When you want to install these, you'll note on the side again, as I've shown you in previous, there are a bunch of holes. You want to ensure that at least 4 of these holes have screws in them. At the end, this one is actually a particularly odd drive. You will normally only see these 2 connectors. These are your SATA connectors. Now, one part here, the smaller part, is for your data, larger part is for your power. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, take your hard drive here. I've just got it waving around here. Slide it in on one of the lower bays. You want to keep it fairly low to the bottom so that it's out of the way when you go to install other components, and I'll show you why in a minute here. Once you've got it set in place, grab your handy dandy screws here. I've got 2 of them. Screwdriver. Again, oops, Eric, you didn't see that. It doesn't say fellows, I swear. Just pop in your screws. I'm only going to put 2 in right now because I don't have the other side of the case open. Once these 2 screws are in place, again, I'm just going to slide these in. If I had fancy video editing software, I can fast forward this part for you. You want to grab our SATA cable. Again, these little cables are keyed. I'm just going to hold this rather close here. You can see right here there's a little bit of a line. Actually, pull it in a bit closer. There we go. See right there? They'll only fit in one way. So you want to take and slip one in on your hard drive. Try to keep your cable somewhat flat. Now the other end that goes onto your motherboard. Every motherboard, of course, these days has a number of different SATA ports. This one here actually has 5 on it. You want to take a look at your motherboard, find out which one is port 1. Use port 1 first, move on to port 2, port 3, and so on. Makes it a lot easier for troubleshooting. So we'll just take that there. Slip that right in. In this case, that's port 1 down here at the bottom. Your DVD drives these days pretty much install the same way. Now, of course, when you put these cables in, you want to try to keep them as much out of the way. Just try to keep your case nice and neat. Just going to slip that back there. See, it's nice and out of the way. That way you can still see everything and looks pretty. Makes it easier for troubleshooting too. Now next up, I'm actually going to show you how to install your video card. I'll do that in a separate episode in a second here. Again, I'm trying to keep these short for you. Next episode, you may not see me in the clip. Don't be surprised. I shall return in about 2-3 minutes here with the next episode. Wow, I like saying episode. I'll